Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Dating Battle. I'm your host, Jody Besesor, and this is my co-host, Kai. So tonight we have a juicy topic in store for you tonight. So tonight's topic is playas. Playa. I don't want to be a player no more.
I don't want to be a player no more.
So this is a sensitive topic for me. I went out with a player for quite a while. I would say I met my first player really young. I was 19, fresh out of high school. I was just out of a relationship, a long-term relationship. I met this guy. He introduced me to all his friends. He was like the hot surfer dude, professional surfer in the Hamptons. I met all his friends. He was taking me to all the parties. We were inseparable. And then I said to him, I was like, so am I your girlfriend? And he was like, wait, what? I don't know what you're talking about. we're just friends.
Right.
And like at first it kind of hurt my feelings because I'm like, I've always been the girlfriend. Like, you know, I've always had boyfriends. Like I've never had a guy say to me, we're not together when we're spending all our time together. It's kind of like an oxymoron. But anyways, I met him right after my breakup. I was like kind of emotional and he just kind of dragged me through the mud. Like we dated for a while. I would say after the first year, when I realized that this dude was like playing me and wasn't changing, was just like hooking up with mad girls, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do me.
Right.
You know? And so like he hung around for a while only because I couldn't find anything else. Like it was always easy to like go back to him. He was always like my on again, off again rebound dude.
Gotcha.
You know? So we dated for a more longer than I'd like to admit. We won't go there. This is neither here nor there. But I learned so much from that relationship. Like I'm happy I got played young because I learned what I don't want in a man and what I do want. You know, like I don't want somebody who's gonna sleep with just anybody or who's gonna disrespect me, not claim me. And what I've learned, if a dude's not stepping up to the plate and he's not making you his girlfriend, and he's hooking up with a bunch of different girls and he's not making any kind of effort to make you his girlfriend, then play the field. Probably the best thing would be to stop seeing him, but it's hard when emotions are involved and you're young and you like somebody, but play the field. You know, you're technically single and you should be hooking up with other people and dating other people just like the players.
Especially when you're young. Like when you're early 20s in general. I mean, I guess before 25. Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully, like, not that you gotta figure everything out, like, at any point in life, but when you're young, that's when you should be making mistakes. So if you're seeing somebody and you're feeling like that person's not as invested as you are, you gotta like go with your intuition, like go with your instincts. Like for me, I didn't really know how to tell what my instincts were telling me. Are you intuitive?
Yeah, I can be. But I mean, have you ever experienced a player? Or have you been doing the playing?
I definitely been played because I feel like I grew up a hopeless romantic, wearing my heart on the sleeve. Like I'm the type of dude who, when I'm courting somebody, or you know, if we're talking or we're dating, like I'll do the romantic stuff, like the extra gestures. Like I'll get the flowers, even if we're just talking.
Really? Even if just talking?
Yeah, I'll do the gifts and like all of the things, but people get freaked out by that.
I know, I'm like that too.
Well, dudes get freaked out.
Dudes get freaked out by that. I think every girl wants to get flowers and love letters and fucking stuffed animals, you know, but you do that for a dude and he's like, is this chick trying to marry me?
People are so scared of being loved, but that's besides the point. So first time I got played was, first time I got cheated on is different from the first time I got played.
Yes.
Because cheaters is another episode, right?
Cheaters is a whole nother topic.
Okay, right. So like, first time I got played, I feel like, you ever like somebody and like you think everything is going great, and then all of a sudden you see that person with your best friend.
Shut the fuck up. That's a bit.
I swear to you, like I would be on the phone with one person, and then I call my friend, and my friend's not available. And this was a trend that happened over time.
You should have known something was
And
up.
I was like, something's going on. This is why you gotta be careful who you introduce your friends to.
Yeah, my mom always says, don't even trust your ugly friend around your man, because she will fuck him too. Side note.
So after that, after being played a few times, you kind of start to realize, like, all right, who do I want to be in this? And I didn't want to be the person getting played anymore. So I'm not going to say I'm a player, but I feel like I continue to do all of the romantic gestures. And what I stopped doing was letting it drag on. Like, as soon as I feel like people are being weird about receiving love, that's when I like pull it back. I'm like,
that's smart.
That's when I'm like, I'm out.
Well, in terms of players, I don't feel like there's a lot of players anymore. Like, I've met the handsome dude who has the looks but doesn't have the game or the charisma. Or I've met, you know, guys who talk a good talk, and they'll tell you my family has a trust fund and I went to Harvard, and they lay it on thick, but they look like literally like Frankenstein, you know? So I've never met like a man who had the looks and the suaveness to pull it off. Like, I would say for me, dating anybody in the beginning, I play the field. And if you're not claiming me and you're not making me your girlfriend, I'm gonna play around and I'm gonna play the field.
I think that's fair. Like, no, that's like, I feel like we should be teaching our kids to expect that. Like, if you grow up thinking that the world is just gonna be fair and nice to you, and because you're nice to someone and available to someone, and they're nice to you and available to you, that's not how the world works. This, like, you know what I mean? It's like, you may want to believe that with all your heart, but
well, I think the problem, and this goes to the root of dating, it's like people didn't grow up, their parents didn't show them how to receive love and how to love or give them enough love. So they grow up these broken adults trying to have relationships, trying to find love, and they don't know what that looks like. And they're so broken. I feel like that's the problem with a lot of people. Like, for me, I feel like I'm whole in myself and I know who I am, but I meet a lot of men who are broken people and they just don't know how to love, they don't know how to show love, and they don't know how to receive love. So it's like, how do we navigate in a generation that doesn't know how to show love and receive love and know what love is and what that looks like?
Facts. 100% agree with you. That's so true. And like, it's not even to say that being broken means that like there's no hope for you. It kind of means like maybe you're not ready to be with someone like Jody, who feels whole and who feels like they have a vision of what like real love is supposed to be like. Because if you show up to a situation with unresolved issues in your heart, then it's gonna be, you might be able to make something work, but you know, you gotta find your match. And then like find your match, and if you feel like you meet Jody and she's a catch, but you got some shit wrong with you and you want to be a player and play her, best believe you're going to end up being the one getting played. Because literally we can see that shit a mile away. Like, one dude in church, he said something about he was like, yeah, go for the insecure girl. And I was like, why would you say that? But as, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but as someone who is like an entertainer, you know, model, musician, I have to put myself in a lot of situations where I'm vulnerable and exposed. So like, I'm not saying I don't have insecurities, but I'm very confident. And I meet a lot of people who may not be as confident as I am. So that's what he's saying. It's like, you gotta know who you are in comparison to other people and play the game accordingly. Don't take advantage.
Yeah.
But like, be real. You're not gonna date a toad and be like, oh my God, it's a prince. Look at that princess. It's like, and you let them walk over you. No, know your worth.
Well, I would say what I've learned from dating a player is that if you don't love yourself, you can't love someone else in return. That's what I've learned. You gotta do the work. That's what I learned from being with a player. Was I was insecure and I didn't love myself, and through those experiences and dealing with somebody who didn't appreciate me and didn't love me and didn't value me, it forced me to do the hard work of confronting myself, saying, why don't I love myself, and figuring out how do I build my self-esteem. How do I, because growing up, you know, we're all insecure, growing up trying to figure out our place in the world, trying to figure out career, trying to navigate love. It's a lot, it's heavy, life's not easy. But like I've learned, the ultimate thing is if you don't love yourself, how can you love somebody else? And through dating a player, I learned that I really needed to do the work on myself. It wasn't about him. Like, as much as I'd love to blame him and say, oh, he played me, made me look stupid, thank you, because you made me wise to the game at a young age.
Gotta thank him. You just reminded me of someone who played me in my older years of life. You know, he was king, I guess you would call someone like that. Very charming person, and like we worked together. I was never really interested in this person, you know. So it was like,
did he pursue you?
I didn't know what was happening, Jody. But all of a sudden, like, I went from not caring or paying attention to suddenly being like head over heels.
Wow, that's quick.
I mean, it took a little while, but it was also so foolish because he made it very clear that he wasn't interested in me.
From the beginning?
We never hooked up. We never kissed. Like, it was some deep player shit. And like, I was just, anytime he needed me, I was there. Like, whatever he needed, I was there. And I didn't even care. But at the end of it all, because it all ended really tragically and sad.
It always does.
It was pretty ugly. You know, it was in the rain and.
Oh God! Did he have his boombox?
Stuff was returned and.
Oh shit!
It was ugly, but all in all, I learned so much, and I'm really grateful. And it's not to say that I will ever do that to somebody else, what he did to me. But what I learned from him was boundaries. Like, even though I was head over heels for him, he established boundaries, very clear boundaries with me. And when he finally felt like I was doing too much, even though he was manipulating me, he was like, get out of my life. And I was like,
wow, that's pretty cold.
It was cold, and we never even hooked up. But it was, I got played.
Yeah, we've all been played. I mean, I think when you're young and you don't know what the signs are and you don't know, it's easy to walk into it, you know, because these people, like with my player, we saw each other every day. Every day, he called me his stalker. He was stalking me. He would be on the road looking for me every time I woke up, and like I was out to like frolic and get breakfast. And like there would be my hookup. I'd be like, oh, it's time to go. Let's go.
And we're like, so romantic. He's stalking me.
But I gotta say, I was so in love with this dude. He was like a beauty king. He was like people in Montauk, and it's a photo. He's like blonde hair, blue eyes, like perfect looking, like Tom Ford, you know, like has the whole all the girls liked him. I definitely went through my fair share of shit with him. But, you know, I mean, we've moved on. You know, I think the last straw for me was that he like moved in somebody with him while we were still dating after many years of dating, and I had enough. There were too many girls, you know, too many relationships in between me and him, you know, and I felt like he always was like, you're a princess. And it's like, why shouldn't I be? You know? He
Sure.
just didn't want to give me princess treatment, you know? And like, I was upset. I was butthurt for a long time. My ego was bruised. My self-esteem was bruised. But it made me come out a stronger person of knowing what I'm looking for, what I don't want, and what I'll never tolerate. I mean, nobody's played me since, and nobody is ever gonna.
That part. Like I tell my little sister, don't fumble the bag. You know, it's like everybody's playing the game. Everybody's playing the game. Even the people who say they don't play games, this is a game. Nothing in life is promised, and you don't know what's true until you know what's true. Trust takes a while to build. You could trust yourself, but you have to build trust with people, no matter if it's a one-night stand or a lifelong partnership. So don't fumble the bag. That's how you play the game.
Yeah. Stay wise to the game. Keep dating, keep loving, keep it going, because we need more contact. We gotta keep loving, we gotta keep dating, we gotta keep just putting ourselves out there, even though it's hard. You gotta take a chance. Love's a risk, and it's a risk we all gotta take. With that, I would say give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, share with your friends. Let's get it poppin'.
Hey.